Hey everyone, welcome to the Joy Business Report. Hello to our friends listening from Kofo Radio and KTU Radio. Coming up, government considers takeover of National Investment Bank by ADB as part of measures to restructure the financial institution. Also coming up, Ghana City expected to trade steadily this week as the Bank of Ghana intervenes in the market to cool off the pressure on the local currency. And some stakeholders in tax administration advocate review of stabilization clause to limit its duration to protect Ghana's interests when signing mining and oil contracts. Details coming up. My name is Darryl Kwao. Great to be with you this Tuesday morning. Now, government is considering the takeover of the National Investment Bank by ADB Bank. The move is part of proposed measures to help save the troubled financial institution. George Rafe has been engaging persons working on the transaction and reports.
Joy Business understands that government hasn't made a definite decision yet when it comes to the takeover of NIB by ADB, but this is highly under consideration. This is because this is part of several options being considered to turn around the National Investment Bank, NIB. Sources say ADB itself may need some additional financial support to undertake this takeover, looking at the current state of NIB. We also understand that government has gotten to that stage where it claims it cannot continue to extend financial support to the National Investment Bank. Some persons close to NIB have also argued that the takeover is not the best option. This is because they have proposed several measures to turn around the bank. Some include a 2.2 billion Ghana cedis capital injection to turn around the bank, so as floating of shares to raise additional funds to recapitalize the National Investment Bank. Some of these persons have also argued that NIB itself has taken some steps internally which is yielding some positive results. While developments in the coming days will reveal how things will proceed when it comes to the takeover of NIB by ADB and whether it will come on or not.
George Rafe is starting us off with that report. Meanwhile, financial economist Professor Lord Mercer doesn't think this approach is the best option to turn around the National Investment Bank.
I don't see ADB to have that kind of strong financial muscle to absorb, NIB. If you look at the NIB's balance sheet clearly, you could see that most of their loans, that are impaired are with contractors who are working for government. And so it's kind of a cycle that has, weakened NIB. And I believe ADB being a government, bank, also government-oriented bank, is also in the same, situation. So putting the two together is more or less a way of continuing, with a weakness. So for me, it's not the best option. What government can do is to get an external investor to put money into NIB, to revive NIB.
Financial economist Professor Lord Mercer there. The Ghana City is expected to trade steadily this week as the Bank of Ghana intervenes in the market to cool off the pressure on the local currency. Last week, the city came under renewed pressure despite support from the central bank to improve foreign exchange liquidity. Here's more in this report.
The local currency opened last week at a mid-rate of 11 cedis 50 pesos to a dollar and traded steadily, losing 0.65% week on week on the retail market. In the 35th Forex auction for the bulk oil distribution companies, the central bank allotted $20 million at a 30-day forward rate of 11 cedis 42 pesos. The current forward rate indicated a 100 basis point increase from the previous auction. The Bank of Ghana also provided $11.5 million on the spot market to help tame demand pressures. However, this was not enough to stabilize the city as local demand caused the local currency to lose ground last week. Since January this year, the city has lost about 11.40% to the American greenback on the retail market and 22% on the interbank market.
While on the currency market this morning, the dollar going for 11 cedis 50 pesos. On the forex or retail market, the pound going for 14 cedis 78 pesos, and the euro going for 12 cedis 48 pesos. Now, the introduction of a single currency, the ECO for West African Monetary Zone, will dominate discussions as Ghana hosts the mid-year strategy meeting for top 4 ECOWAS Monetary Zone. the tracking progress made in stabilizing their respective countries will be also discussed. The top monetary institutes in ECOWAS are the West African Monetary Agency, the West Africa Institute for Financial and Economic Management, and the West Africa Monetary Institute. The meeting, which begins today, is expected to end on September 15. Ghana is bidding to host the West African Central Bank and believes this meeting could help the country's plan. In other news, the president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation, George Kwetia, is advocating a review of some aspects of Ghana's stability clause to protect the interests of the country when signing mining and petroleum deals. The essence of a stabilization clause in a contract is to protect foreign investors from interference by host countries. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Kwetia proposed that the law must be revised to limit its duration to avert the situation where foreign companies trigger the clause to avoid tax payment in the future.
So stability clauses are a very big challenge to us, and it is going to be increasingly difficult as I see it to deal with the past. But going forward, I guess some of the things we need to do is to have sunset clauses in these agreements, such that if we sign any agreement with a stability clause, there should be an end point or a given time to say that this agreement has to be revisited or this agreement ends on this date, and we have to renegotiate. If we don't do that, then we're going to have these stability clauses running ad infinitum, which is not good for us. We also need to get our people to really understand and appreciate when we are signing these agreements.
You heard President of the Chartered Institute of Taxation, George Kwetia. The International Chamber of Commerce is urging small businesses to take advantage of exhibitions and fairs to market their products globally. According to its Secretary General, Emmanuel Donikwame, the demolition of the Ghana International Trade Fair Center has left a huge vacuum, hence the need to explore other avenues. He spoke to Joy Business.
Till the fair, be it local or international, where you get to network, you get to see actual products, and then you develop your own supply chain. So it's a good start. And as I mentioned earlier, yes, we were used to the Ghana International Trade Fair, but there's the need to fill that gap that's been left. So whether you started small, as she's done, as a startup, and then he already has a TV station that runs the morning, afternoon, evening, which is quite common in the West, where during the daytime there are digital channels where products are advertised.
Secretary General of the ICC, Emmanuel Donikwame, Vodafone Ghana has outlined a new host of initiatives purposely aimed at helping small and medium enterprises transition from